Hello, welcome to the third video of this crochet class. It is so great to have you in this class. I'm so excited. I hope you are enjoying this class and I hope that you are making progress with your crochet. Hello, it is so good to see you again. How are you doing? I hope that you are feeling more confident about your crochet skills. Remember, it does take time and it does take practice, so don't get discouraged. If you do find that you're getting frustrated and you just need a break, just put it away. Take a break, put it away, come back to it, and don't do it if you get stressed out. This is supposed to be fun, enjoyable, and let me tell you, I didn't just crochet for the rest of my life when I learned. I would take breaks here and there and do something I was excited about doing and then put it away, pick it up, and restart. So keep that in mind as you're crocheting along. It's okay to take breaks, even if you haven't got everything mastered. All right, well, thank you so much for coming to this next class, part three in the series of 4 in Crochet Corner. So let's get started. Crocheting. And I just wanted to review, when you do a crochet project, don't forget the supplies that you're going to need. First, you need a crochet hook. There are many different types of crochet hooks. There are very large ones and very small ones. The large ones obviously are used for thicker yarn, and there are actually really tiny crochet hooks that you can make things with string. So what we're doing today is using, my size is 5 millimeters, or an I, or no, it's an H. It's also an 8. So you could use a letter or a number. I believe in Canada it's different. They have a different way of maybe just using the millimeters, but it's kind of average size, medium for number 4, medium yarn. Okay, and remember, we are using cotton yarn for a dishcloth. If you are using acrylic yarn, that's perfectly fine to just make a square with acrylic yarn. Squares can be sewn together to make a blanket. You could make a placemat. There are lots of things you can do with a little square. My grandmother used to love these dishcloths and just put them on her shelf and just put a little knickknack on top of it. She used it as a decoration. So you can just be creative on how you use it. But if you want to use it as a dishcloth, then you might want to go ahead and use 100% cotton. Okay, and don't forget, you might need a paper and pencil just to write down some notes as you're going along, some scissors, stitch holders. Now, during this project, I didn't use stitch holders too much, but you might want to use a stitch holder if you have a crochet bag and it's kind of hard to keep track of the needle and, keep it in that little thing. And if you pull it out, it might come undone if you're traveling or something. So you can put a little stitch hook on the end of it to hold the loop there. You could also use a piece of string to just put a piece of string in that and tie it, and then you have it so it won't come out. It won't unravel. So you might need a pair of scissors as well, and a large needle will be used to end your project, which we are going to do in the 4th lesson. Let's review a little. How's your slip knot? Can you do that quickly? How's your gauge? Look at your project and see, are you using even stitches or are some loose and some tight? Like I said before, it doesn't, for your first project, if it doesn't look perfect, that's fine. Sometimes it's even more exciting for a grandmother or a mother or a friend to have one of your first projects that isn't perfect. We want to make things perfect, but when you're not quite perfect, then that is the beginning stages, and you can't get those beginning stages back. So don't lose heart if it's not perfectly symmetrical and if it's a little bit off. It's really not bad. If you're a perfectionist, Don't feel bad about taking it out. Are you halfway done with your dishcloth? This one is not quite halfway done, but I'll work on it and show it to you. I think I'll show it to you in the last lesson when it's all done. So maybe you're ready to try a second one. So if you have done really well and you have finished your square, finish it up, start a new one. Go back to the beginning and start a new one. And in the last lesson, I will show you how to hide your ends and finish up your project. Have you thought about what you can do with this dishcloth? You could give it to your mom, a grandma, or a neighbor. You could give it as a gift with maybe a bar of natural soap. I know in our stores we have a lot of natural soaps for sale. Or maybe your neighbor makes homemade soap. That's a really good way to give the dishcloth with some soap, or maybe give the dishcloth with some dish soap. Because this could be used for dishes. It could also be used in the bath, whatever you want to use it for. And they're completely washable and they last a really long time. Make a dozen of them. Give them as a wedding gift. Maybe you want to give them for Mother's Day gifts to people at your church. I like to give the mothers at my church a gift, and homemade is always very precious, especially from a young person. How about sell them for a fundraiser? My daughter used to sell these for about $3 a piece, and I would cover the cost of the yarn because I wanted to encourage her entrepreneurship. But maybe you could sell them nowadays for like $5 a piece, or maybe you could sell them for $6 and buy your own yarn. So there's lots of possibilities for a fundraiser. You could also make a bunch and send them to the missionaries. Missionaries don't always have access to paper towels and things like that, and they might really appreciate a homemade gift that is practical. Sell them as a home business. Maybe you could make a whole bunch and sell them around your neighborhood and start your own home business. Make a lot of them to sell at a craft fair. Those are some ideas that I came up with, and maybe you have some of your own. Where are some places that we people can crochet? Where do you crochet? Maybe in your bedroom or in your living room? I was thinking at home while watching a movie. That's a great place to make something and to work on a project like this. Maybe bring it to you when you're waiting at the doctor's office or some other professional office where you have to wait. Crochet while visiting an elderly friend, parent, grandparent. Maybe you might want to crochet in a car on a trip, or at a park, on an airplane. What do you think? Where do you crochet? Do you crochet in these places? I think I've crocheted in every single one of these. Especially recently, I finished up a blanket I made for my grandson on an airplane and brought it to him when he was born back in February. Remember this slide? Don't forget the basic tips to keep in mind. Practice makes progress. If your stitches aren't completely uniform, remember, practice makes progress. If your stitches are not completely uniform, just keep practicing. Think loose stitches. That's what kind of makes crocheting fun. Goal for the beginner is to practice for unified stitches. Finish up your dishcloth for the next lesson. We will be talking about binding off and hiding the ends in the next lesson. So bring your darning needle next time. I am going to go into the bigger screen and I'm going to show you some of the crafts that I have made. So I'm going to show you today a little bit about this really fun website online, and it's called Ravelry.com. And there I am. That is me, and that is my profile on Ravelry.com. Right there is the Sweetheart Granny blanket that I just finished that's behind me. Okay, so what you can do on Ravelry is you can upload a photo of yourself and have a profile. Now, if you are under 18, I would suggest that you ask your mother if you can do this. Do not do this just because I said so. Make sure you have permission. This can be used for kids, can be used for adults, but use at your own discretion with parental guidance. But I'm just showing you because I have logged on my projects, and you can find patterns on this website, and you can also share your projects. So this I have as a WIP, that's called a work in progress. And that's because I haven't updated it to say that I finished it. And then there's a nice little pinafore dress that I just made for my niece. There's the blanket I made for my grandson, and a stocking that is all crocheted, okay? Then I have this stocking here. I do have some knitting projects on here as well, but I have flower dishcloths. You can make them any color you want. Those are circular. I'm very proud of this one. This was a really fun blanket. I kind of designed this myself. Black and white, kind of a snowflake pattern with a blue border for my daughter. And that was really fun to make several years ago. So those are some fun things that I've made. Do you have any things that you're interested in making? Let me know what you want to make. I have some ideas on things I want to make in the future, and I want to help you make some things as well. So I'm planning on finishing up with 4 lessons for the beginning crochet class, and I will also do phase 2 for the next level crocheters. So stay tuned for those classes coming up on this platform. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing my projects. I sure loved sharing them with you. Great work. This was a fun video. I hope that you are working on your crochet project, and I hope that by the next lesson you have it completely done, because I have a bonus for you in the next lesson. So we're going to finish your dishcloth, and we have a bonus lesson, and I can't wait to show you what I have planned. See you next time.